Hey everybody! I'm currently being completely blasted with this blue light. Also look like hammer dog shit, but
'Cause you are
on a
hammer dog.
on a good day. The man with the mustache, the man right here. I wanted to tell you that that man is Matt Fremont.
Is he now?
That dude here,
Dude!
that is General Patrick Flynn.
Hey! How y'all doing?
Round of applause. I was like, come on, guys. All right, folks. As always, the Free Matt podcast.
It's free.
It's free. I'd love to. I'm not to the point of selling T-shirts or stickers or
Yet.
panhandling. I'm not going to rip off the Mug Club, even though I like the Mug Club.
Yet.
Louder with Crowder. YouTube hates him too, so they don't hate me yet. All right, folks. The Free Matt podcast, a bit of a libertarian roundtable discussion. Ding. Sounds good. None of my business.
Oh, it came through the laptop. That's kind of funny.
But we're like a libertarian roundtable discussion, covering on economics, various other informative type.
By various other informative type things, what he basically means, folks, is whatever we want.
Because it's free. No.
Exactly. No, that's exactly right. Because it's free, and we control it.
Because we'd be like low rent Stooges if we had like a corporate minder. But we're low rent Stooges without a corporate minder, but we definitely would be.
I was about to say, wait, what's the difference? I mean, because if the difference is the corporate's got the money, what the fuck are we still doing here?
Hey Bruce, can you like spit on it before you stick it in? like Bruce is NBC. He's Weinstein's.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know. I just made it up. I was like, Bruce is just some like terrible, nasty looking creature. It's like what's his face? Weinstein's friend. Like, I get a taste of the talent.
All right.
If you want to make it big in the radio business, I'm gonna tell you this much. You better do what I say there. You with the pretty mouth. Talking about you with the chops. Talking about you, boy. You look pretty. Ernie's like, that's something I wouldn't do. I just jacked my junk for money. That's how he gets tips. He's like, never mind, Flynn call.
Are you sure it's just
Ernie is
monetary tips?
Ernie is he's a cam whore now.
Okay. I could see that. I mean, at least he's showing initiative and he's being an entrepreneur.
Another
so
5,000 points.
I kind of respect that a little bit.
Another
a little bit.
5,000 points, and I'll wave my dick around like a helicopter.
5 guys in 1 point. What?
Don't judge me. That's how I make money. You're just jealous. Shut up, Pat. He's like, he took all that money from Flynn.co, and he's just like, I could do cam whoring, and I could get a website. You people ain't got shit on me.
Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with being a cam hoe. There really ain't.
You're
in control of your own income. You are your own boss.
I just lost my dignity when this guy wanted me to dress up like a banana, and he says, I want you to smear mayonnaise all over yourself.
You never had dignity.
He's like, I won't do that. I want to jack my junk.
Jesus.
You're like, okay. General Patrick Flynn over here is not willing to talk about the results of his of the lawsuit. He signed a non-disclosure agreement in the closed settlement with Ernie.
I must have been drunk because there's no ways I would have closed settlement that little turd.
Well, it was just in your best interest, so you'll end up getting, like, in the
It's
newspaper.
not in my best interest.
Local mentally ill man,
Should have been shot.
Ernie. They were awful. All I wanted to do was push carts.
And
Jack my young.
that's what I thought.
We're like, this is a public embarrassment.
Fucking
like-
scaring the people away.
Quit flashing damn school buses, Ernie.
If you mess with the income, and the income are the people, so you mess with the people, you gotta go.
But yeah, you get a good settlement. I'm like, dude, the optics of this is so terrible. What? He's a pervert. He jacks his junk and runs around and flashes school buses. Believe me, dude. He's mentally ill. The optics of this doesn't look good for the company. Let's settle. So they just give him like 50 grand. He's like, this is the greatest day ever.
That I could see.
Wow. And he just runs around like, please God, don't flash any more school buses. Like turn his Flynn-Co hat back in so he doesn't flash a school bus with a Flynn-Co hat on.
And then next thing I see is the local Catholic school bus, and I'm like, no!
Flynn-Co! Like, my name is Ernie, I work at Flynn-Co! I'm like, God bless that young man.
That's something. We don't know what, but that's something.
God bless you. I'm glad there's places that employ people like you. Anyway,
What do you
folks.
mean, like me?
All right, folks. First article today. Fastcompany.com. I've enjoyed their website for. Why you should stop striving for work-life balance. Here's why. It says it makes us set our sights too low, according to a sociologist. Tracy Brower is the author of this piece.
And she's actually got a book. I looked that name up after I read that article, and she's got a book.
Says,
On Amazon.com.
Tracy recently received a question from a contact on LinkedIn. Says she asked me whether I thought work-life balance was dead. My answer was, I hope so. That's funny. Where I'm getting at, folks, is to be clear, I'm not advocating that you should give up your quest to have a fulfilling career and a thriving personal life. I'm definitely not saying that you should give up one to have another. I also acknowledge that we have a work-life problem, but I'm arguing the concept of balance has never been helpful because it's too limiting. It says, see, our language makes a difference, and how we refer to things matters because it affects our thinking and therefore our actions. Yes, linguistic programming is, before I'd even read this, linguistic programming, yes. How you use words and how they're programmed in your mind is especially a big one.
And it's really weird how subtle it is. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Here it is. It says, my son is learning linguistic determinism in school. It says, yeah, it's fancy. The idea is that the words we use shape how we think. Inuit people have 50 different words for snow. In the Sami, who live in Norway, I've seen those. They have reindeer. Sweden and northern Finland have 1,000 different words for reindeer. I didn't even see. I knew that. They're the people that own all the reindeer in the world.
They mentioned every place but Iceland, and I'm like, come on, Iceland! Sarah Sigmund's daughter.
Yep. Their needs to know, survive, and understand the environment shapes their language, the way they speak and express ideas about their thinking and actions. You might be wondering, what's wrong with the word balance, and what are these alternatives that supposedly help us frame the work-life problem better? 3 compelling reasons. Before we go, I will tell you guys something that Protestants, and yes, that applies to me.
You Protestant.
Protestants. Oh, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
You bloody heathen, you bloody... but you don't know the reference. Father Anderson, Helsinger Bridge, for those that are on the level of my geekdom, for Helsinger Bridge.
I was actually thinking...
you Protestant fuckbucket.
But it was Bill the Butcher, Gangs of New York. Save us from your Roman papery.
Only the best role Daniel Day-Lewis has ever done.
And he was the defender of the defender of the New World, like everybody was born over there.
Yeah,
like the first generation Americans.
He's got to be like Bill the Butcher is the character that you love to hate. I mean, you know, like the old pro wrestling adage, "You the man you love to hate." That is Bill the Butcher.
I loved Bill the Butcher, and the weird thing is that the Catholic family members I have, I quote Bill the Butcher with, "Save us from your Roman papery." He goes, "Why don't you go back to Rome with your king and the pointy hat?" Oh, Lord. All right, guys. Nice segue. Work-life balance artificially separates work and life. At the minimum, most of us work because we want to be able to support ourselves, our families, and the people around us. In the ideal world, we're all doing work that we're proud of and that provides meaning and purpose to us. But even if your job doesn't give you shivers of joy each day, working is a part of what each of us does and the contribution we make to society. When you separate work and life, it's a little bit harder to make a connection. But when you think of work as a part of full life and holistic experience, it becomes easier to see that success is one aspect often supports another.
Holistic.
And it says work-life balance suggests a precariousness that isn't helpful. It says losing your balance and falling isn't pleasant. A goal to balance suggests that things are hanging in the balance or could quickly get off balance, and that causes terrible outcomes. It says the thing is most days probably won't look like an equilibrium. You might have to stay late at work and grab dinner on the way home one day, or skip your work retreat this year because it coincides with your parents being in town, and there's nothing wrong with either of those. Work-life balance doesn't allow us to think big enough. It says, lastly, I think that everyone deserves more than just balance. I get the first crack at this one. Balancing is a limiting concept, and we set the bar too low. We won't demand enough of ourselves, our leaders, and our companies. Right now, too many companies are still operating in either-or mentality. That's why there are still workplaces that penalize parents who choose to take parental leave, or assume that employees who don't put in as much face time aren't committed to their jobs. Always like the mantra, you can have it all, just not all at once. There are seasons of life where you'll have less time for yourself and will devote more to school or family or work. This is part of the normal ebb and flow of life. When you think big and expect that you can have a positive experience with all that work and life have to offer, you'll be more likely to make that happen. How we talk to ourselves matters, and how we talk about issues makes a difference. This is linguistic determinism. Let's bury work-life balance and think bigger and better about work-life fulfillment to do a little less balancing and a lot more living.
You might want to upload that book at the bottom there because it was interesting from the summary I read.
And it's funny because this was... Oh.
I got it.
You got
it. Hey, how you doing? I'm available.
Yeah, don't put your dick root in there.
No.
We have a forward blind everybody there. That's real nice. It was Tracy Bauer, PhD.
PhD. Sorry.
San Pedro Sula. All right. That was Brower, Brower. It is worked for Steelcase. That's interesting. But bring work to life by bringing life to work. A guide for leaders and organizations. Now, the part of this where I have a beef, I've met.
You could just close that and move that and get that out of the way now.
I'm gonna just throw it.
Throw it, I'll kill you.
Try not to. Here, hold on. Just hold it.
Blah, 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 double. Oh.
It's not plugged in.
Oh. My life.
I need a longer cord. Hello? No. Hello?
It looks. Wait. Did the mic go?
That's you.
I'm gonna turn mine off. Screw the pooch.
Oh, Lord. If you're listening, we're still here. Hello.
That's you.
All right, that's number one. Hey, folks, little audio issues here, but we are slowly working to fix them. Folks, go.
I'm at the bottom.
Hello. Okay, guys.
There we go. Hey.
Technological differences here, but my end of it is a lot of people. I do agree. The one thing I don't agree, the one thing I agree with, even though I was raised within the confines of what they call the Protestant work ethic, I honestly don't think there's a big point to working yourself to death and going to work, and I stole this from Tim Ferriss, just to make work. And I am one of those people, I'm like, I get stuck when it would make more sense for me just to leave. And it happens quite often. But when it comes to work-life balance, I know people, and I'm not going to say their demographic, but these people who, they work 9-to-5 jobs, and they don't work weekends, and they have very generous vacation leave stuff, including like family and like family care leave, and they have FMLA even though it's garbage. But the weirdest damn thing is a lot of these people are just milkers. Like, they don't do shit. They don't go to work. I'm like, oh yeah, it's enough to keep people happy. But I guarantee you some of those people are in make work jobs. And I see people like this who bitch about it, and I'm like, they're the same kind of people, and they fit a certain demographic. They want a week off every month. I know people like that. And there's people, they're like, well, I got kids. I'm doing this. I know. And I'm like, they're like, you got, if you're, for example, you're in a logistics analyst job. I'm like, okay, you got sick leave. You got personal leave. Y'all are done with holidays. I mean, they get holidays off. I mean, most of the time they get, they work 9-to-5s, and I was like, but you're milking the damn clock, and I'm like, it's one thing if you could talk your way out of being stuck in meetings and stuff, and some people are smart enough not to go to meetings.
Yeah, I mean,
but the work-life balance, I was like, the people are paying you, and I know people are like, well, you need to get more involved, like, you need to say no. I'm like, you're the people that have shitty jobs, stupid jobs. You're the ones who don't have an idea, what work is. And there's people like that. And for every time, I'll tell people, like, if I'm gone, on a business trip, one of the things is that people don't understand is, leave, like taking vacation or leave or whatever. It doesn't make a lot of damn sense if I'm gone on a trip and I'm not taking leave then. There's certain windows you can take leave. And then there's times I don't want to take a bunch because we have a vacation, not a vacation, we have a holiday coming up. Mm-hmm. And I was like, there's no point. I just don't get it. I said, I'm around people like that. But the people who work in, the people who work in the offices, the people who work in the offices are the people that, I mean, not everybody's like that. I mean, chemical plant, what's the best way to describe it? You don't always, I mean, you work, you get paid to work, but if you see people lollygag, they're the ones that are trying to find some angle to get out of work. Mm. They're usually the people that don't make money for shit. And now, like, balance, yeah, you should have a purpose. I've actually said that. That's where I think she's right, that, the flip side is I think you need to have purpose. And it's not just to go to work. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't have a side hustle. I think you should have a side hustle. You should have a hobby that means a lot to you. And that's where, one of my projects that I'm just screwing up full speed. Is
that the title? Is that the title?
More or less.
Okay.
Working title. It's something you need to be doing in your life, and it's what the rest of your life is. I mean, work is paying your bills. I'm not like being ugly. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a vision for work, but
no. See, I'll give you my half. When you get done. I think this is going to be one of those where it'd be better when we explain it all and then we go with it.
But yeah, I'll rest on that one. Go ahead.
Council rests. Are you sure the council rests?
We're asleep. We're resting.
All right. See, I agree with most everything in that article, but I have a.
I mean, we're already screwed up
the quality of entertainment you get here, folks. Only on the Matt Free Matt podcast.
The Free Matt podcast is comedy goldmine.
But see, my rebuttal or my agreement might be more of a rebuttal, because I think where most people mess up, and I say this from experience, and because I made this choice, I think most people mess up by having to have a work-life balance to begin with. If you're doing what you really want to do, what you're really meant to do, what brings you pure happiness and joy for a paycheck, is it work?
It's life.
See what I'm saying? I think if you are in the right field and doing what you're supposed to do, and by field, it could be something you created yourself, whatever it is. Yeah. No. Whatever the income generator is. If you're
still working at that end.
Exactly. If you're doing the right thing, it will not feel like work. And that's where I think most people mess up. I did, because I thought, IT was where I wanted to be. I was really happy with it when I was going through college to do it. Everything was new, interesting, and now not so much. There are times when I'm like, do I really want to be doing this? And my job, I work from home. It's like, that's the dream gig for most people. I work from home. My job is badass. But there are times when I'm just like, there's got to be more. There's something else out there. Something's wrong. Something is not in line.
The weird thing is, to be honest with you, there's things that I've said that too, that, I mean, like, and I've worked a bunch of different jobs, and I don't want to go into all of them I've done, but you know.
Yeah.
And that's the weird thing, is that work has never been life for me. I mean, I tell people, do I have a work-life balance? I had to work towards getting a work-life balance. Mm-hmm. My life has always been great, and there's always room for improvements, but the weird thing is that work has never been that appealing, even though I do work. A lot of people don't understand. I'm not all,
right.
Comedy goldmine guy here. I don't sit around, make videos at work, which would be nice if I did, but, I mean, I wish people knew that.
Yeah, but I think really the root problem of the work-life balance equation is the fact that people are doing like an income not really income generator. That's a wrong word. I don't want to rip off Tim Ferriss here, but they're doing things for the survival, supportive side of life, and that's what they're doing with their job for the most part. They're not doing their job for the joy and the pure happiness of that job. Does that make sense? I think if you actually go to the root of the problem and pursue your happiness and your joy, then everything else will work itself out. It won't be, I'm not saying that it will be a cakewalk. I'm just saying that your problems will be problems that you want to have and that you welcome, because they're all related to things that you like to do. because you're not going to go through this life without problems. There's no way.
Trade them off for other ones.
Yeah, there's no way that that's going to happen. It's just the problems that you have are the problems of your choice and ones that you like. That is the ultimate trade, or I don't know if trade's the right word, but what people should be looking for, in my opinion, because I'm looking for that now. It's like I've realized that all this time, yes, it's worked out pretty well for me, but I'm not 100% happy like I think I should be. I'm really not, and it's bugging the holy shit out of me. I've got this job that most people would kill for, and I'm just like, there's something else. I don't know what that else is, but there's something else.
You got to work towards and find it.
Yeah.
I mean, time will do that. And it's just like I'm telling people that I should have been owning my own business. And you're like, what's your own business? And I was like, don't have a clue. I just know I need to own mine. Because it's not that I'm terrible at working for other people. I just know it's not fulfilling. Other people have the mind, the wavelength to think that they can, handle that. And I said, it's not, man. And it's not even my current workplace. My current workplace is all right. But I've worked at different places where, most of a couple bosses wanted them to go fly a kite during a thunderstorm. But
yeah. Everybody's got those. Everybody. Every day, everybody.
I was at anyway, I'm sorry, off on a tangent there. We're damn, that's just
I know.
that show's pretty good.
I told you.
Folks, it's just I guess the whole concept of the whole concept of
oh, you did. I'm blind.
Folks, I just tell people it's not an easy thing, work and life balance, and I honestly believe that you need to, like, in the time that you have, do the best with your time, and technology can, but your brain has to do a lot of the work. I know it sounds so silly I would say that, but I was telling telling that guy right there that I was Snot Twizzler. Got something you can chew on, boy.
Careful, I'm a biter. I'm a biter.
The thing is, like, I do, I have a commute in the morning, which obviously doesn't apply to you, no offense. But
I used to have a commute.
The thing is that I would have that commute, and I'd have time, and I wasn't using that time. I was like, well, I thought I was an hour wasted every day, but it's not. And I was like, there's so many other things I could have been doing, and I started doing those instead of listening to the radio, which kind of pissed me off. And in the mornings, I actually feel better. I do either listen to podcasts or I do my recording, and it helps. And there's so many other little things. I said, you'll find time, but make sure your time has purpose. You can account for your time. Like, everybody's on their phone. And I'm like, if you waste 2 hours a day, I think some of the calculations, you can almost lose an entire month, a year. Mm-hmm. If 2 hours a day, you're sitting there flipping on your phone, like scrolling
through like Tinder and Bumble.
You could you could just settle for 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day.
30 minutes a day, 3 times a week. 3 easy payments of $19.95. Call Bowflex now. Sorry, could not resist.
Do it. No, not so slow message, but cutting it down to 30 minutes a day, putting a timer, writing down your priorities, how you're going to be doing the electronics.
Definitely writing things down. I have. It's one of those things I've started to do, and then I fell off the bandwagon on it. But writing down your intentions for the day and what you would like to get accomplished, that really does help you in more ways than you think. For me especially, I noticed that on the days that I remember to do it, and I was able to look back and say, oh, I did this, this, and this, I actually felt more fulfilled about that day.
The thing is, you put the time... scheduling's one thing, but putting a timer and saying I'm not going to go over this, and have a checklist of things and say, even like subdividing, like say 45 minutes a day, and I had 3 things to do. And you set it up, and you obviously automate your emails, as Tim Ferriss says. You do, and then you there's so many other hours a day you should be doing other things. And you're like, well, I don't do very good at this, and I'm like, well, cut an hour off of sleep and go exercise. I said, go do this, or if you need to sleep more, cut an hour out of damn scrolling. And I mean, stupid crap like that. Like, well, I'll just zone out on the TV. Quit the TV shit. Go do something. Well, I wanted to ride a unicycle.
I mean, even if
instead of watching TV for 3 hours a night, it's time to ride your unicycle. And then
unicycle, sleep, whatever, just something that's productive or beneficial to your being and your health.
Pump out. You got an hour. You can do a pretty good body weight calisthenic workout. And I was like, I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life, but there's things you're not. Like, you're like, work-life balance. I don't have any time for this. I'm terrible.
Speaking of working out, I'm about to do another drop set. Hold on.
What's official? Anyway, where I was going is how do I word this? You need if you think that you don't have time, I know you do have time. You can find time if you prioritize your stuff. If you look at stuff in your life you're doing and stuff that's eating your time, prioritize. And they're like, okay, that's not that important for me. You know what is? Me being healthy. And you know what I did? I quit doing stuff, other destructive things. I cut back on my watching TV and stupid crap like that. Yeah, folks, peanut butter stout. Peanut butter porter. Ooh. Me likey. I almost like that as much as I like Colombian women.
Oh, really? Really? That's a good beer then.
All right, folks. We're slowly washing into nothing. I was gonna say that was a Horny Goat chocolate peanut butter porter.
Really, really good, folks. It's there you go, down, up a little bit, right there. Look at that goat. You want that goat in your mouth. You know you do. You want that goat.
Just put that goat in your mouth.
It's honestly, folks. Side note, because we love beer and we got to plug beer.
Put that goat.
The Horny Goat peanut butter porter. It's one of the. It's almost a dessert beer because it really tastes like an alcoholic Reese's peanut butter cup. And if you want the best float of your life, take some Horny Goat chocolate peanut butter porter, and then take some Moose Tracks and make you a float with that. You will be amazed. Amazed.
That sounds good. Well, it means I'm going to close this off with a quasi-inspirational moment.
Does that mean I get a chance to fuck it up?
Yeah. No. You'll have the closing thoughts, but folks, in your lives, I know a lot of people are like they get kind of down on themselves. I want you to not do that. I want you to see things for beauty and see things for greatness. And even during your worst moments, there's something around the corner. There's a reason for you to be happy during your struggles, during the good times too. But just, folks, be thankful. This is us being bitter, us playing the dopamine roulette first in the victim Olympics and the god-awful, outrage culture that we have. It's counterproductive, man. And just go back to living. If you could do one thing, no, I'm not trying to raise money for like the Humane Society or anything, but learn about Civility.
In the arms of an angel.
With,
I don't know if I had the background music, I would play that since you mentioned
with just 8 cents a day, you can create, folks, I'm trying to get you to be civil, like civil towards each other, and learn empathy. Like, you don't have to, like, be somebody's lapdog, but you could see somebody, like, why I wouldn't walk in right before closing time and start ordering food when the people have been there all working doubles. Says, maybe I could just go to a convenience store and pick up some pork rinds or something.
Or drive through.
Well, depending on how long they've been there, too. But
come on, man. McDonald's is open 2 a.m. I don't even like McDonald's, but they're open at 2 a.m.
I mean, like other places that aren't open then. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all well.
And if nothing else, folks, Waffle House. I mean, come on.
Just have a little empathy for people and try to think in their element, like, hey, this person's a little upset because they've probably worked a double, like the place
In other
smells like
words, try
shit.
to put yourself in their shoes.
More or less.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Well, folks, General Patrick Flynn, closing remarks.
I actually don't have too many closing remarks that are that dissimilar from yours this time. I mean, because I really think that if you spend more, and again, this is coming from personal experience because I didn't do this. It's not because I was successful at it and it worked for me. It's because I didn't do this and I know what happened and the way I feel now. Whatever brings you joy, whatever like really makes you happy, find a way to capitalize on it. I mean, yeah, you might have to work your current quote unquote job and have something else on the side that you really enjoy doing. Build that, work on that, pursue your happiness, because don't chase your wallet. All that will end up leaving you is going, there's more, there's something out there. I don't know what it is, what it looks like, but there is more. So get that, try to get rid of that and find what that more is. And I will too. I will keep looking, keep opening doors and seeing what happens and seeing where I end up. But just roll the dice with it. Quit living in fear, I guess, is the best way to put it, because it scares the shit out of me, because you think, financial security, I got to pay all the bills, I got to do all this other stuff. Well, what happens if you do all that and you never get to where you want to be and you didn't pursue your happiness? You leave a life of regret and frustration? That's not adding up to me. So, that's my 3 cents.
All right, folks. Do love one another as you would want them to love, love one another as you would want them to love you. And as always, many blessings and have a good night.
Drink beer.
Smoke weed every day.